Hello, I'm here to talk about my upgraded palette sort plugin for GIMP 2.8, and this is my first screencast, so please feel free to point out anything I might be doing wrong. I won't necessarily notice it. Well, first off, I'll give you some context. The palette sort, there was a palette sort plugin in GIMP since 2.2 or something like that, but it wasn't very useful, to me at least. It was had very limited functionality. Basically, you could only... oh, that's a problem. Hold on a minute. I'll just shuffle this around a bit. Yes, that'll work. You could only sort the whole palette. You couldn't sort just part of the palette. And doing more complex sorts was pretty much impossible. You also had a very limited selection of colour channels to sort by. You only had red, green, blue, hue, saturation and value, none of which I got any particular use out of personally. So this screencast, by the way, is done running GIMP 2.8. If you haven't upgraded to GIMP 2.8, it's been out for quite a while and it's got a number of improvements over 2.6. If you're using 2.4, you really got to upgrade. But I won't go into detail there. I'm aiming to talk about the improvements that I've made to the palette sorter. I'll have the URL for the improved plugin posted in the comments. Well, I'll get it available somehow on this video. Okay. So I'm basically going to run through the different functionality you can get out of this plugin in its improved state. Just like the older version, you access it by right clicking on a palette in the palette list. You select Sort Palette from the menu, and this window likes to jump on top of my palette. It's annoying. Oh well. I'm working off this Amstrad CPC palette. If you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. It's just a simple palette that's easy to show in this demo. So, to start with, I'll run through all the different channels that are available. Some of these are only available if you have the colormath Python module installed. That includes this one here, LAB, A color, B color, LCH, AB, both of the LCH, AB options here. These ones up here, they're always available. Just as an overview, I guess this is the first addition I made, the Luma. That's a lot more accurate than Value for sorting. I'll demonstrate that here. We've got, we can just see this. Basically, for this really simple usage, it's just as easy to set up as the old version. You just select the channel you want to sort on, and maybe if you want it to be go ascending or descending, and you hit OK, and it sorts your palette. Now, to demonstrate how Luma is more useful than these other measures like value or lightness, HSL lightness at least. We can run through each of those. Now this looks kind of chaotic. That's a known problem with HSV and HSL. They sometimes get the right sense of relative lightness, but a lot of the times they don't. And I'll just also go to this, I'm doing value, right, that's lightness is the corresponding channel. Now that's a little bit better, but it's still got some problems here. Now, so I've gone through the different measurements, how bright something is. So we're doing a basic sorting here. So I guess I'd rank the value of HSV value is pretty much the least accurate measure. It often doesn't make sense when you look at the result of sorting by that. HSL is a bit better. Luma is quite good. If you don't have the colormath module, that's probably the one to go for in that area of sorting by brightness. But if you do have the colormath module available, then you can sort by LAB lightness, and LAB lightness is pretty good. I don't know what I'd call the brightness of this. It's some of these you can't necessarily figure out, but it does a pretty good job. The best job out of all the channels, the different channels that you can sort by.